Hello everyone and welcome to Thursday Live Lessons here on Ukulele on the Ground. My name is Aldrine Guerrero and joining me are Mr. Aaron the Voice Nakamura. Say what's up, Aaron.
What's up?
And we have special guest today, Mr. Ryan Isaki. Say what's up, Ryan.
Hello everybody.
If you guys don't know Ryan, the three of us are actually the original Ukulele Underground guys. Actually, these two guys are the original two Ukulele Underground guys, and then I was brought along with this project. But Ryan and I have been playing music together since 2000, so it's been almost 20 years. See, that January makes 20 years.
Yep, 20
We've
years.
been playing music together for 20 years. Aaron and I met a while back. You guys heard all these stories and stuff, but these are the three original Ukulele on the Ground guys, and the reason is because Kahai's not here, and we're like, man, a two-man commentary team. And I was telling Aaron this in wrestling, it's not ideal. You want a play-by-play guy, the Michael Cole,
Okay.
then you want a heel commentator and a face commentator, so that there's there's color in the commentary.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But so between me and Aaron, we're just both
So am I Jerry the King Lawler?
You could be Jerry the King Lawler, and he could be JR. Good old JR.
That's an old '90s wrestling.
Yeah, I guess so. That was a two-man team.
Yeah.
Right on, guys, and welcome to Thursday Live Lessons. What we do here is we answer any and all of your questions. I guess today, especially today, you guys can ask ukulele questions. You guys can ask ukulele underground questions since Ryan is here. You can ask us basically anything, and we'll answer any and all of your questions via email, via telephone, via text, via whatever it may be. Let's just get started. I'm excited for this. So let's go. Give me the first question, Aaron.
Okay, this one it's kind of a long question.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey guys.
Ryan's ready.
Hey guys,
Is it about canceling your U Plus subscription? Because that's the only kind of questions I can field these days.
contact Ryan.
After this episode, we
Like,
get along.
oh man, that was the worst idea having Ryan on the podcast.
All right.
Oh wait, yeah. Oh, so the first one is from Michael.
Okay.
And it was, hey guys, I've always been strumming with my pointer finger,
Mm-hmm.
but after watching Jake Shimabukuro's masterclass, I think he might have been talking about his
Bruce.
no. I think it's Jake's. It might have been his pluck strum. Or
Okay.
something
Yeah.
like
The
that.
uke minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the uke minute.
Mhm.
I see him strumming with the fleshy part of his thumb on the down
Mhm.
and the fleshy part of his pointer finger on the up strum.
Mm.
I really love the sound and feel of this style, but I keep hitting the top strings too hard.
Mhm.
So I'm guessing with his thumb, right?
Mm.
If that's what he's saying is
Yeah. I
you
kind of
know?
have an
Yeah.
idea, but yeah.
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 Any tips or are there other videos that can explain this in more detail? Perhaps
Mhm.
it's my ukulele too. I realize my fretboard does not go into the body of the ukulele,
Mhm.
so I don't have that sweet spot where I can hit the fretboard before the top
Mm.
string on down. So I guess, yeah, maybe it's not his fretboard. Maybe isn't raised.
Yeah.
So,
well,
like-
he doesn't have this. This is what he means. He doesn't have this part where the fret is on the fretboard is on the ukulele. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing it's just 12 right here, and it just stops right there.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have the sweet spot right here.
So like he's saying that it doesn't, like he can't just hit the fretboard first before so maybe he's hitting the top strings a little bit too hard with his
Okay.
thumb.
So for that, so I think I remember that Jake lesson. So he's kind of like doing this this is kind of strum. So
Yeah,
Jake doesn't.
or
Yeah.
maybe like down and up.
Yeah.
Like
So there's a lot of ukulele players that use that technique actually, not just Jake. But first, let's just talk about Jake and that technique. That was kind of a specific technique. If it's the same one that we're thinking of, and the pluck strum, that he kind of taught. So when he kind of is doing this, he's using the flesh part of his thumb on the top string, and just kind of fleshy parts of your fingers to do this kind of pluck strum, and it gives you better control over each string. So if you kind of want to make sure that the C is louder, or maybe you want to make the E louder, make the A louder. You can do that, and there's a lot of control using these 4 fingers. He also kind of shows this this strum where he goes like this. And you might want to check out other ukulele players such as Kale Gum Yao uses this kind of this kind of strum. But actually, it's Kalei learned it from Kimo Hussey. So Kimo Hussey does this kind of same technique. So you might, if you want further studies on that, you might want to check out anything that Kimo Hussey has out, because he does this, and he does, I believe he does like free lessons on his like YouTube channel. I think you can find some from there. But as far as your thumb hitting the top string or whatever, it's actually try to hit it as soft as possible, because here you're basically using the top string just as a ghost note. This pointer finger going up is gonna play the chord and mostly the notes. Okay, the whatever melody line notes that you may have is going to be played by this pointer finger doing this kind of up pluck or up strum or whatever you want to call it. But this thumb is mainly just to kind of set the rhythm part. So if I'm doing so it's mostly my pointer finger kind of doing this up, while this thumb just kind of adds the ghost notes in there. So I'm trying to do this as kind of quietly as possible, but you're still getting the rhythm of the top and maybe the C string for some bass. It's kind of doing that. But notice mostly this up strum right here that you're hearing more. So just go as lightly as possible and just kind of aim for just the top string. And if you hit the C string, that's totally fine. So if you're just kind of aiming for the top, doing this. So if you look at it from this angle, I'm kind of hitting away. See that? I'm not hitting down like this, like I normally would. I'm hitting up and away. If I hit the C, totally fine. It is easier because I do have a guide here with the fretboard, so I can kind of do this. And as soon as my thumb or the flesh part of my thumb hits that fretboard, I kind of go out like this. Whereas this same thing, pointer finger, I use that as a guide to go up. So if you don't have this, there is no guide, but for the most part, you can just still try to aim for that G and just kind of hit out like so.
Maybe you can show the angle of your from the top down.
Yeah. Okay. Here. So it's like here, top, and then kind of out. Instead of this would be going down. So you don't want to hit the rest of those, you just want to hit the top two, and then out. So this angle right here can kind of show that. And if you want accents, you can always still strum down. So this is just kind of ghost note. And you can make a full strum to accent like a nice soft strum. But the thing is, you're gonna want to learn how to strum every single way. This is just kind of one style to do, and it works on some songs, not gonna work on every song. I still would suggest kind of using your pointer finger, using your your thumb or whatever finger it is that you use to strum your ukulele, or all five if you want to do that. But that's just maybe like a quiver, like an arrow in your quiver. That's just one, one of the tools that you can use whenever you need it. So I wouldn't, I would go and learn it and stuff, and I would, use it on whatever song it needed. But it's not something that I would fully dedicate my time to. It's like, oh, I got next, from now on I'm gonna strum like this and only this. It's like that's cool, but you want to learn every single way to strum. I mean, because you're gonna use your pointer finger, you might use that like kind of business card kind of strumming. You might want to do that. You might want to like separate it for triplets and stuff. So there's all kinds of different ways to strum. You don't want to limit yourself to just that one. But it's great that you're kind of expanding, which is awesome. What do you guys think, Aaron?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of just a matter of knowing where your hand is in space.
Yeah, that's true.
And the more that you practice, the more that you'll know kind of just intuitively how far you are from your strings. So it's just comes down to practice. And it's if it's a new concept for you, then it's just gonna be new. It's you're gonna have to experiment and see what works for you and for your ukulele, because that's kind of tough too if you don't have that extra part of the fretboard on your
because I said, I do use it as a guide. Like brush the flesh part of my thumb against the top part just a little bit, and once it kind
at
of,
least you kind of know where you are.
Once it hit where the fretboard would be, I use that kind of as a ramp, like if you think of it that way, like I used to jump a lot of ramps when I was a kid. So like your bike is going like this and the ramp going up. It's not like this and then you go down, it's not like you go up and you go down this way, you go up. Like your bicycle launches up, right? Instead of going down. I've done that too on a bike. Like not quite go up the ramp.
You don't go fast enough.
Yeah.
Was the question about fixing the technique, or just is that okay?
Both, I believe. It's like, I was doing it like this one time, and then now I've kind of switched over to this. Can you tell me like, better or some advice on doing that? Do you have any advice for this man, Ryan?
I think it's just like important as a musician to learn different strums and when to use them, because like if you were to try to take that strum and play reggae with it, it'll be pretty hard. But if you did like chunking or like more like skanky kind of strumming, could you? I mean, I guess you could do that, But even that, like, it's not exactly like what you were doing earlier.
Yeah.
And that's part of the journey of becoming a better musician, is like learning how to apply these tools in the right places. You're not hammering with a screwdriver, you're hammering with a hammer.
But you can.
You can.
That's the thing. You can use the technique for
get
reggae.
away with
You can get away with it.
It's
Totally fine, but there are better tools for that.
Yeah, and that's basically what any kind of strumming technique
Good
is.
answer, right? See, he's already.
Well, I think I've fielded, like, I think Kahai is catching up, but in terms of the history of ukulele underground, I fielded the most questions. So
that's true.
I've answered that kind of question a lot.
It's not his first rodeo, ladies and gentlemen. It's not his first rodeo. All right, do you have any other questions? Hopefully that answers that question. And if you have any kind of follow-up questions to that, if you are Mike, if you want to follow up, if you're in the chat, just type it on the chat. If not, you can always reach out to us and we'll, see if we can give you a little bit more information if you need
I think he was saying that he wanted to watch the replay if we answered his question on the live.
Yeah, so if not, just let us know. If anything, what I would suggest, and we used to say this all the time, is that if you send us a video of what what you're doing, so we kind of know what it looks like and stuff, then we can make the proper corrections. Either that, join us in the one-on-one coaching on Thursdays, or book a private lesson. Any one of those will work. We're really dedicated to fixing anyone and everyone's problems. So
and that's kind of instantaneous too. We could see it and we can totally tell you.
Yeah, it's this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk about that in the live coaching a lot before Mason's soccer season started. How like there's only two types of problems everybody learning ukulele runs into: it's technique problems and timing problems. And so technique problems can be corrected very quickly, and this is a technique problem. So if you see it, you can reposition the wrist, you can reposition the finger really quickly.
So although we kind of understand, like what you're saying, what the problem is, it would be so much better if we could see it and then we could really like zoom in on what's going on. Yeah. Do we have any other questions?
We do a couple, but I mean. Since you mentioned it, like technique problems and then timing problems, meaning like rhythm. Or like, So what would be kind of like a general, like, how would you go about correcting somebody's rhythm? How is the process longer for that than the technique?
It just depends. I mean, like it depends how off it is, or it depends if it's like a problem with like not knowing where like beat one is. If not knowing where beat one is, that's like the longest problem. It's going to take a long time to kind of understand. And for the most part, it fixes to it is just counting out loud. Like a quick fix to it is just counting out loud. It's like, okay, now just play this, like instead of playing the full chord progression or whatever, just play the first chord in that chord progression. So imagine I'm playing Brown Eyed Girl, for example, right? In G. So G, C, G, and D. So if you're having a hard time with that, with that rhythm of that, so just kind of do it on one chord first, and count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. As long as that count is consistent, or 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. As long as it's consistent, you can say the numbers, and and your hand is kind of matching up with what you're saying. That'll fix that. Not like entirely and stuff. Of course, everyone's still got some kinks to work out even after kind of knowing where you are in the beat. But for the most part, a lot of those problems stem from kind of knowing where you are in the measure, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. So you're not like doing down strums, like, or the beat 1 on beat 3, for example, or beat 1 on anywhere else other than beat 1. You know exactly where beat 1 is. And on top of that, if you're still having a hard time, I would just kind of do just down strums. So I would just take that, rhythm pattern with the right hand and just really simplify it as just 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go to 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then I'm not even gonna move on to all the chunks and whatnot. Then I'll say, oh, let's add the chords. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to see 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes it's rhythm that has to do with strumming and singing at the same time. So that's the same thing too. If you simplify the right hand and what you're doing rhythm wise, it's much easier to sing it instead of trying to focus on this down, chunk up, left, right, up, down, A, B, like whatever it is that you're doing here, you're like kind of subconsciously thinking about it and the lyrics are just not matching up, So if you just simplify that into just, hey, where did we go? It's much easier to do it. Days when the rains came down in the hollow, and then you can add the up, so you can start to kind of slowly make it a little bit more complicated. Run in the hollow, playing a new game. But that all stems from knowing where 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So you're not switching too soon, you're not switching too late. It's the right amount of beats and the right amount of measures.
I think that's like the challenge of learning anything, but ukulele, it's kind of similar to like for language learning, there's skill acquisition and knowledge acquisition. So knowledge acquisition is like the technique, right? You can correct that really quickly. You can learn the practical side of like how to position your hands, but actually hearing rhythm and reproducing rhythm is a skill. Like learning kung fu or something, you gotta practice it over and over again.
Yeah, and there's really no shame in bringing it all the way back to some basics and just down strums and down up, down up. It's better to kind of bring it back down and do it correctly than to just like try the complicated rhythm and just be all over the place, But I'd rather go to even just like a concert or somebody performing, them just kind of like playing it super simple,
but they're right on.
Instead of like somebody trying too hard to do too much, but then like everything's all over the place.
I would even argue that identifying rhythm is a skill that needs to be acquired.
I would agree.
And that's something too that we've been trying to work on,
how to improve,
or just how to communicate that skill, or like how to get people to kind of acquire that skill, like providing resources for that, because a lot of it stems from not having kind of that basic kind of fundamental music interaction as a kid. So if you didn't have a teacher that said like, okay, we're gonna like clap to row your boat, like the whole class is gonna do that. If you didn't have stuff like that, or stomp your feet to Mary had a little lamb, if you don't have that, then you might have a harder time
as an adult,
because that wasn't kind of ingrained. Or if you didn't have an adult that would carry you and rock you to the beat.
It's true.
You don't know how far back that goes.
That goes.
Like thinking about it now, like my grandma was one of those where like she would sing stuff just randomly, and like if she was carrying a baby, she would be doing
rocking
it to the beat
she's singing.
And so like how internalized is that? You don't really know how far back that goes.
And just general school in general is all knowledge acquisition, not skill. So if you, especially I think people that go through like grad school and then get their doctorates and stuff like that, like that's even more like knowledge acquisition, and like maybe they haven't done as much skill development this whole time, and they've gotten used to the idea of learning as knowledge acquisition rather than skill development. I feel like sometimes those people struggle a little bit more with learning, because you see like Josh in the live coaching, who's like however old he was, like 9 or whatever, just like ramp up his skill, because he didn't have that intellectual baggage of, oh, this is what learning is. It's acquiring the knowledge of how to place my hand here and whatever. rather
You
than
just
the
did
practicing
what
and
they were
developing the
told,
skill.
right?
Yeah, and then we do get a lot of adults that say like, well, can you explain it in a different way?
Yeah.
You know,
Because
like,
that's all knowledge-based acquisition,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. So that's kind of, instead of just trying it out for yourself and getting into it already.
Yeah.
It's like I have to like wrap my mind around it
Yeah.
first. So yeah.
You
And
could read
that
a book
sometimes
about
is too
swimming.
much.
Yeah, you could read a
Yeah.
book about swimming and then jump in the pool. What's the chances that you're gonna swim perfectly across the pool the first time? You know,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
there's the difference between knowledge acquisition and skill development.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's tough, you know, like, and too much knowledge, like I was saying earlier, like if you're just kind of thinking about it, you know, and you think too much, it's too
Yep.
late already, like to kind of do the actual skill. You're like, it's down, up, down, chunk, roll, you know, like if you're thinking that,
Overthinking it.
yeah, you're overthinking it.
Yeah.
It becomes, then you miss it, you know. So that might be a lot of people's problems, is like they're trying to think of the pattern, trying to think of like, okay, it goes like this, you know, like this is how we taught it, so I should do, and then anxiety comes up, and it's just like,
I think that's where, like,
you know?
I think that's the root cause of any time someone emails like, oh, what's the strumming pattern?
Mhm.
Is that they're trying to acquire the knowledge to play the
Yeah.
song, when actually they should be focusing on the skill to play the
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's why, I mean, main reason why we did away with strumming patterns this year.
Yeah.
And I think it's been so good. So good without strum. Like, Fridays run super smooth now. Instead of like, taking like 5-10 minutes just trying to explain, like, all right, Island in the Sun. And that will take like 5-10 minutes to explain, because it's like, down, chunk, up, chunk, up, down, up, down, up.
Yeah,
Like,
and then when
too long, and you gotta break it down. Yeah.
when to change your chords within that.
It's nuts. But now it's just like, you know what? Just do up. If you can do down, 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 and down, up, down, up, you can play along already. You don't.
Yeah,
need,
it doesn't matter.
You can just
Yeah.
go ahead and play along with us.
And then
for
when you get there, you'll get there.
yeah, and when you feel it, because you'll feel it too. Like you'll feel when we're doing the strums and when we're doing the chunks and rolls and stuff. If you just don't think about it, just feel it. It comes a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's hard because people do default to that. Like,
Yeah,
just tell me. Or just tell, like, you know,
Yeah.
just explain it
I'm
better.
way too busy.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't have time like you guys just play ukulele all day. And I was like, oh, maybe you're right, actually. So yeah, good discussion. Anything else?
All right.
Do we have questions from the live crowd?
Well, just people kind of commenting.
Oh, cool.
Jim was saying that Yoda was saying you have to kind of learn slow to be able to play it at speed later.
Yeah.
So kind of slowing it down sometimes helps, sometimes it doesn't. But and then Jim was saying learning the basics of rhythm as a skill is useful, but eventually it has to translate to feeling it.
Yeah.
Coming from the heart. So yeah.
But I mean, you know, when I was doing private lessons like a while back, not private lessons here for ukulele on the ground, but private lessons with other students, I've had students where like we just kind of put the uke down and we just like clap, or we, you know, like we say 1, 2, like we listen to the track and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, so that they know exactly like where the one beat 1 is, and then we try to like go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and like now let's try to, you know, feel like where the axes are with the actual strumming pattern, you know, 1, 2 and 3 and da 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 da. Like that's when you start to kind of feel it more, like when you're using your, you know, your voice, because there's no wrong chords when you're just going da 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 or la la la, you know. So it's I've had students where we go down to those, you know, to those levels. We're just clapping like campfire, you know, clap along kind of thing, but after that, when they finally pick up their instrument and they get the rhythm, they're like, okay, oh, that's how it's supposed to be now, using your hands instead of your voice or your mouth to make that sound.
Yep. Feeling it is like the top level of knowing rhythm. It's like when you don't have to think about it at all, it just, you know what it is.
Yeah. And that's why, like, when I used to explain strumming patterns, it was easy to explain the strumming pattern because I would say it in rhythm, you know, like down, chunk, up, down, chunk, up, down, because that was the actual rhythm that I'm feeling, you know, and I would just say, like, use my mouth to just like say those things, but then I'm just saying words to it, you know?
But you're not actually thinking about which direction or what you're doing with your
That's why, like, when someone's like, what beat is the chunk? Then I actually have to like stop and think. It's beats 2. You know?
I don't know, but you shouldn't know either. You should just
Yeah,
feel
exactly.
it.
Don't,
Yeah.
don't think about it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just thinking too much already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cool. What else?
Okay. This one is from Wesley. Or next kind of few.
Wesley was the
related-
guy with the bike.
Ukulele Wesley.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he's the guy with the bike. Remember
so-
that question?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so he was saying, how does the ukulele in particular and music in general affect your mood and thinking? And he's got some follow-up questions to that too.
I don't know. Like I've always kind of, like used ukulele in music in general to kind of like to get away, from anything else that I'm supposed to be thinking of
it's like
like
an
that
escape.
day back in high school. It's like homework can wait. Like I'm just gonna do ukulele. It's just my way of escaping. And for me, like it's just if I immerse myself in it, then like I don't have to think about anything else. But that's just I don't know if that's uniquely like my situation and stuff. But music, I believe. You can call up any kind of emotion that you want. You can play sad stuff. You can play like happy stuff. So you can it does affect your mood if you let it affect your mood in that way.
Or if you're using it for a specific
some kind of therapy.
purpose.
Yeah. So it is therapeutic. Music is therapeutic. Even if not playing music, but just listening to that kind of music. I mean, I know listening to like junior seniors like move your feet like kind of makes me want to move my feet. Like don't stop the beat. Don't like I just get happy and I want to like clean the house or something. But then like listening to like Dashboard Confessional, which Ryan introduced me to. I gotta point fingers.
I'm sorry about that.
Sometimes on the way home, like this car hears my confessions. It will bring up whatever feelings that you choose to bring up, and it might you usually listen to songs that fit your mood anyway, right? So it's not like you're in a crappy mood and you're gonna listen to Junior Senior, then you're just like turn it off, like I'm just not feeling it, So
and same thing with playing, I guess.
yeah, same thing with playing. Like if I'm in a good mood, I'll play like good songs. And we've mentioned this before, but like sometimes people request songs from us like on our performances, on Wednesday night performances. And if I'm not in the mood to play that, like I'm not. This
has been kind of a current situation.
And it's if I'm not in the mood to play that, I'm not gonna play that. It's just not or if the crowd is not even if I'm in the mood for it, if the crowd's not in the mood for it, like it's one of those things. It can control moods, so it can set the mood as well.
Yeah, because we've been talking about like the way that the show kind of goes on Wednesdays. There's like a slight ramp up, especially towards the end. And if somebody requests like a slow song towards the end, it's like, should we actually play that? Because it's gonna kill the vibe. And it's gonna take a while to bring the audience back from that. So
there's some guy who wanted to hear Somewhere Over the Rainbow the last 10 minutes. We're like wrapping it up. We just played Let's Get It On. Like we're all that super strum heavy, and like so I said no to the guy, and then like he asked like one of the waiters, and then the waiters asked us, "Can you guys play Somewhere in the Rain?" I was like, "No." I already said no. And then I asked one of the waitresses, like, "Oh, can you guys play?" I'm like, "Yeah, all right, I guess."
He gave into it.
I gave into
probably
it. I
shouldn't
not have, But because like
you could tell, you just tell him like, "Oh, I'll play for you later," but it's gonna we're building to something.
He wasn't having it. He wasn't having it. He just really wanted to hear that song. And
I want to make everybody hear this song. I love it.
Plus, we don't even play it like the version that you're thinking
he wants,
of.
We don't play it like is and stuff. Aaron sings it like Judy Garland. So it's just like double disappointment for him, But it's whatever.
I got him to do what I wanted him to do.
I guess he just took the victory.
What is this? It's not what I asked for.
It's not Izzy.
It's not Izzy. I wanted Izzy K.
Izzy.
I wanted Izzy K.
It's not Izzy. It's barely K. This is too old for me. The guy's like 70, 80 years old. He's like,
I didn't want Judy G. I wanted Izzy K.
Judy G. That's what I'm gonna say in the show now. Is the Judy G version. But it's one of those things that it does set the mood, and and it sets the vibe, especially if you're in a live performance. So if me just playing for myself, it sets my mood, and it like pretty much will dictate how I'm gonna feel the rest of the day, depending on what music I listen to or what music that I play with my ukulele.
What I think is cool about music is if you hear a song that you haven't heard in a while, it can just bring you back to that point in time in your life.
Yes.
Like that's one of the most crazy things for me, because like you cannot have thought about the song for 10 years. And then you hear the song from that time period in your life, and if it was like a good time period, like, oh man, it's like that feeling that you get.
Yes.
It's pretty incredible.
All the associated memories.
Memories come back.
Let's share this one story. I don't know if you noticed, Aaron, but recently I've been like, let's play G minor fleas, right? And every time I play G minor fleas, or I think about G minor fleas, I think about one memory in particular, and that's me. I entered this ukulele contest with Mike Fernandez, which is our bass player for our old band. And in the same contest was Tim Cummings, Daniel's brother Tim, and he was really good at ukulele. And Auntie Koki, his mom, like backed him up, and they played body surfing and stuff. So they were right before us, and this was aired on TV. And this is how like Daniel tells this story to me. He said that like he was watching TV, and he's like, he saw his mom and his brother like play body surfing, and he's like, dang, like Tim's got this. It's awesome. Tim's, it's in the bag. It's in the bag. Tim's got it. And then shows like me and Mike playing G minor fleas, and then Daniel quickly turns at his own brother. Is like, oh, I'm sorry, Tim, you just got destroyed. You just got destroyed, Tim. Oh, I feel so bad for Tim. Oh, Tim, just go home, man. Like that's how he explains it to me. He's like, oh, Tim, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, man. But I think of that every single time, and like G minor fleas always brings it to that memory of like, I guess.
Wait, was it? It was a contest.
It was a contest. It was
Waimea Town Celebration.
It wasn't Waimea. It was in Hanapepe. They had like a block party, and that was the first time that I've actually met Roy Sakuma, because Roy Sakuma was there, and he was doing like because the Waimea Town Celebration is not like at that time wasn't a Roy Sakuma thing. So that one in particular, they're giving away, like Koaloha ukuleles, and that's how I got my Koaloha that got stolen. So it was from that contest. It was supposed to be apparently Tim's ukulele, but like like we went on, and Dan like quickly turned to his brothers like, oh man, Tim, go home, Tim. But yeah, like you're right. Like these songs that spark up like different kinds of memories and stuff. And every time I play that tune, it always brings me back to Hanapepe, like playing with Mike.
Yeah.
Good times.
Well, and that's kind of why people always request like, oh, can you teach this song?
Yeah,
it's because it probably has a
special meaning to them,
specific memory associated.
That's probably why that guy was requesting Somewhere Over the Rainbow, actually.
Yeah,
sure. It's probably because he's in Hawaii, and he's
bad we didn't play it the way that he wanted.
Don't ask for it at the end of the show.
I proposed to my wife with this song. And like all these emotional attachments to the song.
But you could probably go to the next bar and hear the band play that song.
Much better.
Much better. You're much better than us. Like it's.
Or you could listen to the version, and that's like
flawless,
the best take.
Exactly. So throw a rock here on Kauai. Like you'll hear somebody playing that song. You'll find somebody that's willing to play that tune. But anyway, next.
So kind of like related questions. It was about like I play. He said I play as a form of therapy a lot.
Yeah.
And I find if I pick up my ukulele and make some music, it alleviates some depression and anxiety. And so like we kind of talked about that too, right?
That is definitely true.
Yeah.
A lot of I sometimes have trouble sleeping, and when my family's like asleep and stuff, and I'm the only one awake, when I grab my guitar and I just kind of play really softly, because ukulele I just want to like strum and stuff, but guitar I want to do like some finger style kind of just playing, and I sing some like Jim Croce songs or like James Taylor and whatnot, and it really brings me down, and then I can finally get some rest and go to sleep and stuff. So it's a way for me to just kind of relax and just kind of take my mind off of whatever I was thinking about, and then finally get some sleep.
You know what's really cool too is like if you keep playing music for a long time and you get better and better, and then you much later down the line, you go back to the songs that you were learning right at the beginning, and how exciting that was to learn that song. That memory comes with you right back.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I remember when I got this song. I remember what it felt like. That's probably some of the best therapies. Like, you play those songs with those emotional attachments to them, the positive ones,
and you can also see how much better you've gotten through the years too. You know?
I'm not all that terrible.
You can go back to those songs and you can add things to them, and you can play around with them more just because you have the skills.
Yeah, it's definitely therapeutic. Another great music therapy is writing music. Like we talked about this last like song challenge and stuff. Like, just a bunch of like lyrics were just coming out to me, but I'm like, press it down and just write something funny instead. You know, that's what happened with me. It's like
it's coming up.
It's coming up. It's too raw. It's too raw. I gotta make it funny. You know, but it's writing music. Just write your emotions, write whatever you're thinking, and you know it might not always be like a masterpiece, but you just never know. But it's a way of therapy to writing stuff down, putting it into music, and it's awesome.
Remember we were at Kenny Endo's house, and he was talking about songwriting, and he talks about he's like, I don't think I write songs. I think the song just comes in through me, and then it comes out. And I was like, oh yeah, that actually is what it feels like, you know?
Yeah, those are the best songs. I mean, you can sit down and
you can bang it out. You can bang one out.
But it's better if it just comes to you. Who is Kenny Endo?
Kenny Endo was the father of our taiko drum player when we had a band on Oahu. No.
He's famous.
He's kind of famous. He's like a world-renowned taiko
drummer.
Japanese drum play artist. But his son was in our trio, Miles.
Named after Miles Davis.
Really?
That's what he told me. Named after Miles Davis.
And Miles is actually like a world-renowned furniture designer now, right?
Oh yeah,
isn't that what he is? I checked out his website. Oh, He's selling his furniture for a lot of money.
Oh wow! Yeah, he asked us to play for his wedding.
I know. That's my bad, Miles.
Miles is listening right now.
It's just too hard to go. Yeah, I would have loved to if I actually played guitar in the last couple of years.
He wanted to get the boys back together.
Wanted to get the boys back together.
Boys are back in town.
Yeah, he's doing really well.
So good for him. He's always been super artsy and stuff. I was into like RC cars like back then.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, let me take your RC car like and paint it like however you want. And I'm like, okay, I guess you can take a stab at it. And he comes back, I'm like, oh snap!
It looks like a real car.
It's so good. And because like I knew he was like artsy, but I didn't know he was like that good. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have the coolest car in the block now. It's an RC car in the block.
I think he kind of specializes now in like industrial lighting, but not industrial lighting in the sense that like you put in a warehouse. Like Facebook will buy like a light fixture for $10,000 from him or $20,000 from him, and that's what he does now. It's pretty cool. It's pretty nice stuff.
I miss that guy. He was super cool.
He was a very nice. You know, like what's like when I think about it, it's like I was like such a not complete person when I was that age, and he was in high school.
Yeah,
and he was so much more. He was so much more mature than I might even be now. You know, I think about those kind of people sometimes. I'm like, man, how did he get it figured out like that at that young of age? Yeah. He had it. He knew what he was doing.
Miles Endo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I derailed.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
But yeah, kind of going back to the songwriting.
Yeah.
I feel like the lyric writing kind of makes me like I'll end up saying things through lyrics that I didn't even realize that I felt, you know? And I could be talking about some other situation, but it actually applies to current situations like going on with me now. So it I don't know, like there's the term music therapy, which is like a thing, right?
That's a thing, yeah.
But I think it's redundant because all music is therapy. You know?
Yeah. Tell that to my mother-in-law who majored in music therapy.
Yeah,
he has a degree in music therapy.
I think it's I think all music is therapy, whether you're listening to it or you're writing it or you're playing other people's music. It's like it's feeling some, and that was kind of part of his question as well. Is like, you talk about how to play ukulele, but why are you playing? What's the itch that you're scratching? And is it a puzzle? Is it social? Is it spiritual? And I think it has to do with all of those things.
Yeah.
Just in different ways, but yeah, for me, writing music really kind of gets deep in there, and like you have to be comfortable. Like in order to be like become a better writer, you have to like sit with the discomfort of like going down into the depths and like pulling out something, and like no matter if it's like ugly or beautiful, like whatever comes out of the depths, you just gotta like take time to look at it and ponder it, you know?
Because I mean, imagine the greatest songs in the world and stuff. Like those songs wouldn't be written if like if people didn't reach all the way down, and brought out those lyrics.
Yeah, because you can write something that you just like dip a little bit, and it's just surface level.
Yeah, and it comes out exactly like it does. It's just shallow, you know. When you want a deep song, you really, you
have to be comfortable with yourself and like really shining a light on stuff that you might not want to see.
One of the greatest songs in the world, Baby Shark, is you had to pull deep down in your soul.
Yeah.
And then Mommy Shark, Daddy Shark,
and the Japanese and Korean versions of Baby
snap! Like that's you reaching multiculturally into your loins, picking out the right. You can't just say Okasan do. What is the Japanese version?
I forget what it is. I don't know. I've seen it
Shark.
But I think about that sometimes, because like there's no like, as far as like what a human needs to stay alive.
Yeah.
Music is not one of those things.
No.
But it kind of almost. Why is it around then? Why is it so still valued so much in society? It must have like some kind of psychological function for human beings, because. Like you said, like there's $1 million songs out there. Like someone wrote a song and made like millions of dollars out of it.
Yeah.
Society has deemed that song that valuable, where it's necessary. But and if you look at it like as a whole, you don't need music to survive as far as like biologically.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an interesting thing I think about.
Yeah. And the fact that every single culture has music. It might be different types of music or produced in a different way, but like every culture has music. And so,
dating all the way back, as far as people can remember, there's been like types of music, percussion,
So the fact that we perpetuate this cultural thing is like, it must serve a purpose.
Yeah. It feeds our souls. Kind of
does.
Yeah.
It's chicken soup. You don't have to eat chicken soup, but it's delicious. It works.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much all the questions that we got. But yeah, Kahai was in the chat saying, "Please stop! I don't want to have to pull 5 different versions of Baby Shark." Links in the
show notes.
I heard there's a Russian version of Baby Shark too.
Yeah. If you're a parent, you don't know Baby Shark. You're not a parent.
That's like the theme song.
I didn't
for like
know
a bunch
Baby
of
Shark.
major league teams now.
Oh yeah, Baby Shark.
Yeah,
I didn't know it actually. So that statement is false, because when I visited the mainland for the first time, and my brother-in-law was like, "Oh, so do you play Baby Shark for her?" I was like, "What is Baby Shark? Like, I'm not even like what even is that?" It's like, "Oh." You gotta get in on it. And like he played it.
Get
in on this. He played it
on the ground floor.
Excuse me. Almost instantly, his kid just started dancing. And it's like, whoa, that's like some kind of like trance-inducing kind of music, And like my kid did not react to it like at all. She was just like, I'm like, oh, okay, like she didn't hate it, But it's just like, whoa, this is kind of like trance. I mean, I know there's trance music out there and stuff, but like that is seriously trance music.
Yeah, Mason used to listen to that a lot too.
Really?
When he was younger, yeah, like 2.
Dang, man, like that stuff. There's a formula to like get these kids' brains like just.
I think it's like
firing
biologically programmed in,
really?
Right? Like I feel like music is biologically programmed into human beings, so that's probably hitting something,
respond.
Yeah, and I felt like I was out of the loop, like not knowing about this like magic song that like if you really want your kids to calm down, just turn on some Baby Shark. And now like yeah, exactly. Now they've just like really monetized and I think like sell Baby Shark stuff everywhere.
I actually think there was like an old version of Baby Shark.
Yeah.
And then the one that you're talking about is like the new remix version that came out like maybe 5 to 6 years ago.
Really?
But the older version is like slow.
It's
like Baby Shark do 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 do.
And then
Baby Shark do. And then the one that you're talking about is the Pink Fong one, right?
Kahai,
Pink Fong. Yeah.
Kahai is getting more and more mad as we go along. Sorry, Kai.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, wait.
But it's philosophical conversation.
Yeah,
It's
about
like,
Baby
Shark.
Great.
Okay, moving
Wait,
on.
Yeah. So there actually was one another question in the chat.
Sure.
How do you pick a string with your thumb on the way up with a short nail? Is it possible?
I mean, you can use it. It's possible, but it's not ideal. When we're talking about this kind of technique, of earlier, this kind of thumb going down like so, you can do it on the up as well, kind of using that same fretboard as a guide, and you're kind of like launching your thumb up. So I'm not hitting it; I'm hitting it from the side. So how I'm hitting it is on your thumb, right? There's this bone right here, or not knuckle, not bone. There's a knuckle right here, and that knuckle protrudes a little bit. So this knuckle, I use that as kind of a guide. So I use that knuckle here, and I go up. It's not ideal because you don't hear it too well, but it's possible to kind of do that. I even can like kind of strum up, and if you look at it carefully, the nail is here, and it's not gonna hit at all. So it's a very soft hit. And that stems off from me just like knowing how to kind of strum with the side of my thumb. So that doesn't use any nail at all. So you can, as far as picking.
I think
like
the question was
lines,
more about picking.
I don't think so. But I guess if you don't have a nail, you can still hit it, kind of up and stuff. But it's just wouldn't be as clear. You might get like kind of a muted note, but if that's what you're going for, so
I think that's like the hammering a nail with a screwdriver kind of thing.
Yeah,
because there's a better way to do that.
That's
like
true.
If you're playing
a
metal,
because you can just like pluck down.
Yeah,
and it's
or if you have to like do like pluck up and stuff, you would use a different finger, right?
Yeah, do like thumb and middle or something. Or thumb and
if you have to do it that quickly.
Yeah. So that's true. It's a great way to think of it. It's just hammering a nail with a screwdriver.
Yeah, I mean, you don't often pluck up with your thumb anyway. No. Like aside from doing the tremolo,
It's true.
Because it's not strong. Like that's a weak position for your thumb to be in. To try to come up, your thumb is stronger coming down, and your fingers are stronger coming up. So
yeah. So you don't really need to do it. You can try and figure out a way.
We're not discouraging anyone from What if it's like a new thing? Like someone figures out like, oh, it's so much better. Like, oh, remember what you guys said?
It's
like,
it's the Fosbury flop of ukulele playing.
It's like, oh snap! And then it discredits us.
Like everybody only plays like up picks with their thumb now, and like they do down picks with their pointer finger and up picks with their thumb.
And they'll always say like, remember that time that Ukulele Underground downed me? Like, oh no, we missed the train.
There'll be like a documentary about the Fosbury flop kind of equivalent of the ukulele world. Up until then, everybody plucked down with their thumb.
Yeah, I mean, like picking with your thumb is a relatively new.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah.
Too. I mean, who else did that before?
Otasan picked with his thumb.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But Troy Fernandez picked with his pointer finger.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess it's been around then. It's not like
but it's mostly with the nail because I've seen Otasan with a broken nail and it was. I mean, I don't want to say
not the same.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a nice
not the
way.
same.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Actually, Otasan's picking style is really unique too because it's really thumb heavy, but it's like using the thumb, moving the thumb in a way that's like not just like like how you do it. It's more like you're bracing and you're going up and down. But he's like moving his thumb up and down. Yeah.
When I do that, people like trip out because I can kind of like I'm like double jointed here, so I can kind of do the tremolos without like doing the things up.
Yeah, that's how he does it, right? That's how Otasan does it.
They're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's like I play a lot of video games.
not everybody.
Button mashing.
Button mashing. If you play Street Fighter enough, if you play Blanca or E Honda, you'll know.
Can you do that technique that Otasan did or does?
Hold up.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Can you strum? Tripped me out the first time I seen that.
Yeah.
It's like a golpe?
Golpe. So it's just like down, up, down, up. So instead of the chunk, you kind of just hit that. So you, instead of, you substitute it for a chunk. Because it's a down, when you do a chunk. So instead of doing down, you just down onto the soundboard. So down up chunk up down up chunk up down up. So down up chunk up down up chunk up down up. So just that.
Yeah. I remember like Roy Sukuma was like, "Oh yeah, you do it like this," and he could do it. And like he was like,
"Yeah, Roy Sukuma was pretty good.
He's really good." Like, "Oh yeah, you just do it like this."
Yeah, but he went to the route of producing instead.
Producing and teaching, you know. But he doesn't teach that. Unless only like, maybe the most advanced students he'll teach that golpe thing.
I think, well, with Ota-san, his up was with the thumb. So it's like down, up, jump, up, down, up.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
But I can do it with just the pointer, just as using it like a chunk and stuff. So instead of doing like that's kind of tough too.
We have a uke minutes on that, right?
I think Craig taught it.
So that's tough with doing that.
Yeah.
You can just do it pointer. Sounds exactly the same.
It's just as good.
It's just as good. That's it's been my whole career. It's just as good.
The easy way.
Aldrine Guerrero, just as good.
Just as good. I'll write a biography.
That's your book title.
Yeah, my book title. Just as good. It's just as good.
Yeah, I guess we have one golpe uke minutes with you teaching it, and then one with Craig.
I think Craig's one is like a 5-finger golpe.
Yeah, I think he does
like a fancy one.
Yeah, mine is just that. But
advanced
just instead of
golpe.
the chunk on the down, it's the golpe on the down. So for those of you who want to see it slow, this is this. I just just flick my pointer finger on there. Because what's your chunking position? It's this anyway. So it's the same exact thing. Right? So it looks exactly so that instead of doing a chunk, so if I do the chunk, it ends up there. When I do the golpe, it's there, same. So it doesn't knock me out of position.
Yeah, which is you kind of want to do that for all of your techniques.
Yeah, I remember we both of us tripped out like, oh, what is he doing?
Yeah. What is he doing?
This snap! I think he does one which is really cool where he just like kind of does this.
Yeah, that one. That was the one.
Point to the thing. So not same, but once you go down, you can still like follow it up with an up strum that way. But he's still doing the down up. So
that's the one.
It's like
that's the one.
tapping your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time. It's nuts. So it's like down, up, down, up. So it's nuts.
Oh man,
Ota-san is awesome.
Ota-san actually was a very early Ukulele Underground fan.
Oh yeah, yes.
He wrote in a letter.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have an email address. He wrote me a letter asking for a sticker.
That's right.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I still have the letter somewhere in the house.
Tell the story of because when we recorded our album, the K-Town Heroes album and stuff, we did Body Surfing, which is owned by him. So tell him like how we would pay like the royalties.
I forget. I don't remember.
He just do it. Just do it. It's like, oh, we want to like, we want to pay you for the thing. It's like, we want to cover your song. So how do we get the copyrights for it? It's like, Ryan, just do it.
I forget that already.
So we just put it on the album. But we did ask for permission. We did contact him like, hey, can we have this song on our album?
Yeah, I gotta find that letter that he wrote.
That's cool. Handwritten letter. Snap from Ota-san.
Asking for a sticker.
That's gonna be worth tens of dollars in the future.
I thought that was really cool though.
That is awesome.
Because it was really early. I saw it in my old house. I gotta go look for it.
It's cool.
But it was like, wow, like, he's kind of like was a legend of his time, and he wrote a letter asking for a sticker.
He's still a legend.
Yeah, for ukulele players definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Comments?
That's pretty much kind of James Hill does Billie Jean, and
that's
kind
different.
of
That's different. That's like on the bridge kind of. That's a but same kind of idea as this, like kind of putting your finger down and then strumming up. So it's kind of like dum 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 bum. So like when you hit the that bass kind of golpe,
right. Hitting
so
the
bridge down
or
and then
the
it
saddle.
goes up again. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do the right hand, so no. I can't. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah.
Didn't we do a
James
lesson
Hill.
on Billie Jean?
But
but it's
the
not-
James Hill.
Oh, not the
version.
James Hill version. It was like way before he did.
Yeah. No.
Billie Jean.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been around for a while. It was when
Ukulele Underground did it.
yeah.
I want to yell that so
not
bad.
as good
a
as
lot
you.
of like lessons. There's a kid I saw on Instagram like doing something, and I'm like,
but that's cool though, because it's like
Yeah,
I think I told you guys a story, but Steve Jobs talked about how you just become sediment layers.
Mhm.
Like the person who invented the computer mouse,
Mhm.
nobody knows what his name
That's
is,
true.
but everybody used
Yeah.
it, you know.
Yeah.
And like the person who invented the touch screen,
Mhm.
you just become a layer of sediment in the history of ukulele underground. I mean,
Mhm.
ukulele teaching, you know,
Yeah.
on the internet. So we've laid a pretty big sediment layer that if
Yeah.
anybody wants to go and dig for it, they'll
Yeah,
find
yeah,
like,
they'll
they'll
find it,
find
yeah.
that sediment layer, you know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
and you see it in a lot of like the ukulele teachers even
Yeah.
nowadays, you know, and stuff like the way that they teach stuff or stuff that that they would teach, even the content. Like
Yeah.
if I look at the content and look at the arrangement, I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's my arrangement.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like I know that that's my arrangement because I picked those notes because those are not supposed to be the notes,
Yeah.
you know, and I picked that key for that. It's crazy, but no one will give us
No,
credit.
but
though.
no,
it's fine.
but-
No one needs to give us credit.
We're the sediment. We should be
That's
proud
right.
that we laid the
I guess that
sediment
we
layer.
laid that
you know?
that groundwork down. Yeah.
And in 100 years, we're all gonna be dead, and no one's gonna know us anyway. So you know, that's kind of like the way that I think about it. It's like, you know, it's cool that we got to do it.
No, when I in 100 years, right, my marble statue will still be in the front yard of my kid's
Yeah.
house.
What do you want to be doing in your statue?
Oh, that's
What
a
do you want to
good
be posed
question.
as?
What
What if you had to choose? Like, what? How close would it be to like your actually day-to-day life versus like, you know?
Oh, I thought like how close to your actual body. Like
No.
I would want to be a little bit more like 18-year-old
Like,
body.
2007.
Marbleized. Yeah, exactly.
2007 Aldrine girl. What if they had to erect a statue of you?
Yes.
It's like you get the honor, like, oh, we're gonna remember Aldrine Guerrero, but it has to be like what he spends the majority of his day doing. Like that's the statue, you know? Like what? It's like,
There would have to be a big statue for the bed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm laying down.
like laying down on the bed, your phone or something.
My phone. Yeah, that would be a pretty big statue.
That's like everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Any more questions, Aaron?
there is one. Gabe in the chat
Okay.
said, "I'm an 11-year homeschooler.
Mhm.
I just joined UU today.
Cool. Thank you.
Can you show in slower motion when and how you hit your thumb on the downstroke?" So I'm not sure which.
Is he talking about what he just was playing, the golpe?
Yeah, I'm not sure which.
Okay. I'll try to
technique.
explain it a couple ways. So the chunk, yeah, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that-
you're talking about. So
Yeah. So
when you when you strum your ukulele, ideally, you know, like you want a loose wrist. Okay, you have your forearm here, just kind of pinching it to your body and stuff. Pointer finger pointing to the sweet spot, which is right here. And then you just kind of do a down up, kind of pointing to yourself and then pointing down to the ground with just your loose wrist, kind of doing that. You let the weight of your whole hand kind of go down like this. And when you let the weight of your whole hand go down, your thumb is in a unique position to stop the strings. So you're kind of doing down with your fingers and then stopping it with the thumb as soon as it hits down, like so. So just kind of using the weight of your hand to go down. I like the more fingers that you use, the thicker the chunk sound is. That's chunkier, I guess. You know, so you just kind of let the weight of your hand go down. Stop it with your thumb immediately. So just kind of pointing to yourself and then pointing down to the ground. I like to tell people it's like you going to a beauty salon, just kind of looking at your nails like so. I'm like, oh, okay, and then you know. Or look at it like a construction worker. It's a construction worker, and like you just came back from a salon. So you look at it this way, you know, if you're just like, oh, look at my nails and stuff. But that's kind of to an exaggeration. But it's kind of going from here. That's the twisting of the wrist motion. Looking at your nails like a construction worker, and looking at them like a salon. So that same kind of motion will twist your wrist so that your thumb is in the right position to stop, like so. But if you're doing down up strokes, if you're like going from beginning, down up stroke, usually I'm hitting it from like a 45-degree angle. I don't know if you can see the angle from there, but it's just kind of, so it gets both kind of flesh and nail at the same time. And you're using the the tension of the string, so you're kind of resting on the tension and letting the tension go. That's how your strings make noise. So you're just kind of going down using and riding the riding the non-grip, I should say, of the strings, and just kind of sliding off the strings, but letting the tension go. Same thing on the up strum, but I use kind of more of my nail to slide up those. So if that's what you were talking about, that's
I think he was talking about the chunk.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Because he said I got it to work.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
Yeah.
And don't try to do it in the up though. Up strum. There's no such thing as up chunk.
In playing ukulele. Well, that's the important thing with the chunk. The chunk is that it's actually just a modified downstroke.
Yeah.
Like most people downstrum, like people think about it like it's a unique thing, but it's all it is just you're modifying the downstrum to touch the strings.
Yeah, with your
instead
thumb.
of keeping with your thumb.
So if you do a close up here, so I'm just doing the regular downstrum. It looks no different than when I do my chunk, other than I'm like bringing it closer. So my regular strum looks like this, slow. So I'm missing it just by like an inch, But then when I do the chunk, I move this forward and I actually hit the strings.
I just realized the chunk is actually a good way to check if you're strumming properly.
That's
because
true.
if you can't do the chunk, that means your strum is not correct.
Yeah. The form isn't right.
The form is not right.
Yeah. And I've taken some tennis lessons, and that's kind of like where the whole form thing kind of leads me. Like if you don't have good form, everything is not going to follow through correctly, So if you don't have this form of like loose wrist, pointing up, pointing down kind of thing, it's really tough to explain the chunk, because there's no point of like where does my hand go, but really if you have a loose wrist, use that kind of weight. It's just the weight of my hand going down and then stopping it with my thumb.
I mean, of course people can figure out how to chunk without proper technique, but it's just so much easier.
You know what it's not is using your palm.
That's hard.
It's not really that. It's definitely not,
because that's not a modified downstroke. I keep calling it a downstroke, but it's a downstrum, right?
Stroke is good too.
Downstroke?
Downstroke is good. Since we're talking about tennis.
Tennis, yeah. I think that's what's messing me up. I'm thinking about tennis,
Yeah. Upstrokes, it's strokes, like follow through. But then the form has to be correct in order for it to to do it properly.
Like you can still play tennis with terrible form, and you can get pretty good, but
well
it's just a lot.
Form.
It's just a lot easier if your form is a little bit better,
in
the beginning. It just makes things easier for yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Any final things you want to say before we go?
Was that an hour already?
Yeah, man, it goes fast. It goes by fast.
I can do this podcasting thing.
You tell Kai his services are no longer needed.
Nah, Guy's
stay
good.
one more week.
Yeah. Guy's good.
I don't think Aaron likes doing Guy's job.
Yeah, it looks pretty stressful over there.
Yeah, let's give a hat to Aaron for keeping it together. Good job, Aaron.
And I think it'll pretty much be exactly like this for tomorrow. I'm not gonna add any chords on the screen for the live jam. I'm just gonna do this.
Well, the chords are like subtitles, so you're training people to actually like listen more rather than read the subtitles. So you're helping them out. You're welcome, everybody.
Or
we could read all the hate comments tomorrow.
Never bring Ryan back on again.
Yeah. Or we could just have like a whiteboard or something, and I can draw them really fast.
You run in every scene and you erase them and draw the chords.
It's very very low tech.
All right. Well, it should be fun. We'll see you folks tomorrow for Aloha Friday Live Jam. If you guys want some instruction right now, you guys stick around for the one-on-one coaching. The link should be on the top of the banner on the front page or the home page if you guys want to check
every
that
page.
out. Yeah. Every page.
They wanted to see the hot sauce bottle.
Oh,
just
actually, I've not eaten lunch at the office in a bit, so it's kind of the same. The progress is still the same. They're taking bets on how long it'll take me to eat this entire bottle of hot sauce.
It's just above the label right now.
Yeah. Should just like open it up.
Yeah, just like
drink
the Stone Cold.
Now it's
said
here
so.
now. Stone Cold. All right, now so that's where it's at right now. It's been a really slow week at the office for food for me anyway. So yeah, but because that was 1 week, it took me a week to get there. So this week was
That's pretty impressive, actually.
it's just I love that. That sauce tastes good. I don't know if you've ever
Dude,
had
they're
that
doing
sauce.
really well.
Yeah.
Considering they're you know the story, right? Like they were like it's
Oh
like
yeah,
kids
the
like
local guys.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
homeschooling their kids, so they grew a bunch of peppers in their yard to like teach them how to
Like,
grow
you should
stuff.
sell these.
And they're like, "Whoa, we have way too much peppers. We should make
Yeah.
something with them." So they made hot sauce, and you should sell it. And then they started selling it.
Yeah, now they're everywhere.
Yeah.
First we feast, like
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
yeah, that's
Oh,
one.
wow.
Yeah,
One of
that's
those
one
that
of the
Kalohi
hot
Kid
ones.
was one of the hot ones. Sauces.
Wow.
Yeah, they're big now.
Yeah,
so.
just some homeschool family from Maui,
Yeah,
living the
good
American
stuff.
dream.
Good stuff. Right? Yeah, they actually liked our post. We posted that like that hot
Oh, yeah?
because we gave away one of their hot sauce
Oh,
for one
nice.
of the Thursdays and stuff, and they liked our post. and
I ordered
commented.
it for you for Christmas one
Yeah.
year, like when they first started,
Mhm.
and it was like
Yeah.
that guy just like answering
Mm.
all the emails like the
Yeah,
whole
man.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
had-
"Stop working! It's before Christmas," and he's like, I can't stop working."
Too busy.
Yeah, it's too busy to stop.
Yeah,
but
I
he's like
talked to him
emailing.
too.
Yeah.
when he had like it wasn't a Kalohi Kid, but it was like one of the Maruga scorpion peppers. Like he
Uh-huh.
only made like so much and
Uh-huh.
stuff. And I was like, let me know like when it comes out, because I really want one of those. I love Maruga scorpion. So he's like, okay, cool, So when it finally came, it was like, hey, we're gonna release in like in
He
about a
actually
week. I was like,
emailed
oh
you.
hot damn,
Yeah.
so cool,
Yeah.
And that's how you do it, man.
Yep.
That's how you do it. That's how you
That's how you
become
do
a successful business,
Yep.
apparently. So I gotta start answering more emails, guys.
Yeah, you probably should.
Yeah.
With that note,
And the understatement of the century. Actually, I've been doing pretty terribly too the last 2 weeks. It's been pretty rough.
I've been doing. You know what?
You've been doing better than
I've
me.
been doing
I'll be
better
honest. Yeah,
this year and last year than I did in the past 8 years on the ground. So
that's pretty good.
yeah. Well, on that note, we'll see you folks next time. Have a great one. Check out all the awesome things here at ukuleleontheground.com. If you guys are listening to this on as a podcast, thank you so much for downloading us. Make sure you check out ukuleleontheground.com and sign up for UU Plus to take your ukulele playing to the next level. Have a great one, guys. Aloha. Thank you, Ryan, for joining us. Hey, bye, guys.
Download our app too.
Yes.
People have
Download
been
it.
saying the app isn't working on iOS, the new version. So if it isn't, let me know too, because I have 2 people have said that so far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need the
I
feedback.
need more feedback.
And if you want to upgrade your subscription, cancel your monthly instead for yearly, email Ryan. Also, hey, thank you.
All right.
We'll see you guys next time. Aloha.
Do you guys have outro music?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.